I'm Gold Derby editor Daniel Montgomery, and I'm here with Charlie Bright, and we are here to discuss the MTV Video Music Awards, which are taking place this weekend. We are here to discuss what we're expecting, what we think of the nominees that we have both been watching over recent hours and days to prepare for this discussion, and we're going to see if we can come to any conclusions about WTF. And also WTF, the Missy Elliott video. But first, let's actually just get started with the top category, Video of the Year, which for me this is one of the most difficult Video of the Year categories to predict. On the basis of merit, it should be kind of a two-way race, but since this is a fan vote, that really complicates the algebra of this category. So we have the 5 nominees are Adele's Hello, Beyonce's Formation, Drake's Hotline Bling, Justin Bieber's Sorry, and Kanye West's Famous. Now, what's so difficult about this category is that I would think, especially because they got the most nominations, Adele versus Beyonce. That's what this should be in terms of how it seems like it would logically shake out. But that doesn't necessarily happen. I mean, we've seen Miley Cyrus come in and win Video of the Year for Wrecking Ball through sheer popularity, even though she didn't have that many nominations overall. So that's why I was really thinking Justin Bieber for a while, but then when I finally watched Sorry, he's not even in it. So even though it does have like 1.7 billion views on YouTube, I don't know if his fangirls are going to be that enthusiastic about voting for a video he's not even in. Although I might be underestimating his fangirls. What do you think?
Oh, it's always possible we're underestimating, fangirls and things, but Beyonce got some big fangirls too. I mean, I brunch with a lot of them on Sundays. So, I think that even with the popularity that Justin Bieber normally has, you have Lemonade and just Beyonce's Lemonade was such a huge thing this year that I think that it's just going to be a sheer force of nature. And I think Formation is going to just walk away with this.
Yeah, I'm predicting Formation now too. I do think it's between her and Bieber. I don't actually think Adele is in it because even though she's young, I mean she's in the right age range to appeal to the same voters who fawned over Taylor Swift last year and Miley Cyrus a couple years before that. But her music skews older. She's the kind of artist who is very popular, insanely popular, but she's not quite NCIS popular, but closer to there than to the sort of Bieber fan generation kind of voters. And that's why, I mean, Adele has never won a popular category at the MTV Video Music Awards. She got just as many nominations for Rolling in the Deep, 7 nominations for that video. And it won 3 awards, but they were all in professional categories. She has not won an outright popular vote at the MTV Video Music Awards yet. And even though I'd say her popularity, if anything, and her stature, if anything, have gone up, I don't know that she does it here against Beyonce and Justin Bieber. Do you think she's in it, or am I crazy to underestimate her like that?
At this contest, I don't think you're crazy to underestimate her like that. I think that now Video of the Year is a popular vote. Are all the major categories popular votes as well?
I believe all the major categories are, and then the professional categories are the ones that are voted on by some mysterious cabal of experts who get together and decide what the best art direction is. Even though we'll get to those soon, but I'm dubious about the qualifications of the people who vote for the professional categories.
It's just basically a reunion of everyone who used to work on Singled Out, right?
It must be. Oh, so that means I should have talked to Chris Hardwick.
Yeah,
about who's
now,
voting
so it's
for.
Okay.
Yeah, what we haven't talked about yet, the last 2 nominees, and I feel like I'm just sort of dismissing them, but I feel like I kind of can. Drake's Hotline Bling and Kanye West's Famous. I think on the basis of popularity, they're both intensely popular, but I don't think they are intense fangirl, click, 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 vote online kind of popular. What do you think?
I don't think so. Definitely not with Kanye West's video, or just Kanye West in general. I do think though that, correct me if I don't remember. I think I remember when the Hotline Bling video came out, there was a lot of mocking of it. Like people saying, "What the hell is this?" but still like being attracted to the song. So the fact that it's in here is very comical to me. But I don't think it's gonna be that much in this category, at least. Other categories definitely, but not in this one.
Yeah, I do remember a lot of that mockery. I hadn't even seen the video in full until this past week because I'm out of touch. I'm 32 and officially old. I'm geriatric by MTV standards, so I should just put that out there immediately. That it's, you know, I'm kind of out of touch, not with what the young kids like, because I do like a lot of this music, but with how they think. I don't know what's going through their minds when they're picking this category or any of other categories, which is why
you're old
here in particular is
You're old. Well, I just turned 30 a couple weeks ago, so we are now old-fashioned VH1 to MTV.
Oh, that's sad. We're VH1 already.
Not current VH1. I mean, old.
Not current. We're old. Yeah, yeah. And I was a VH1 guy back in the 90s, even when, you know, VH1 and MTV were kind of, which makes me doubly sad. Let's talk about the actual videos for a minute here, nominated for Video of the Year. I've seen them all. I've seen a couple of them more than once. I did think, you know, I liked Hotline Bling. It was, yeah, I think what people were making fun of it for at the beginning was the weird dancing where he's doing kind of the weird kind of Elaine and Seinfeld moves.
I can't believe I never put that together. Oh my god.
and so there were tons of memes about, like, I remember there's like one move where he's doing that and someone like memed him throwing Pokeballs, which was funny, but I don't think it stuck. I think that, you know, that sort of mockery was kind of a while ago, and he does have enough of that sex symbol status that I think he's kind of been able to own it as people have watched this video millions of times.
It's weird because his look in that video kind of looks like he's embracing his inner lumberjack, which would make sense since he is Canadian.
I think he's embracing his inner. That was like a dad embarrassing his children at a party kind of dance. It was
Tim Kaine dance.
It was so entertaining in its own peculiar way. Not nominated for choreography, by the way. I think that's criminal. But I think that I agree with you. That video probably has a better chance in other categories than this one. I really want to talk about Famous, the video itself, the Kanye West video, which, you know, was the subject of so much controversy. It's Kanye West in a bed with all these, I don't know, wax figures or this weird art installation with all these naked celebrities in a bed. And at the end, he thanks them for being famous as he's panning over, you know, the naked bodies of you know, these figures of Caitlyn Jenner and Taylor Swift and Donald Trump. And it's the kind of provocative video that I think is trying so hard to be provocative that it actually becomes kind of boring. And it's 10 minutes long. And so it's just like panning back and forth. It's like every time it pans down to Taylor Swift's like breasts, it's, you know, I feel like it's trying to tell me edgy. And I wasn't buying it. What about you?
Well, no, yeah, it was like, well, it was doing that, but then also when it would go to the like the camera work and make it look like it was you know, filmed on a video on a camcorder from 1996. You know, it was like, it's like the breasts were edgy, but the camera work was artsy, so it was trying to meld the two together. And I still like the song, and I thought the video was interesting. Which with music video now, since MTV doesn't play them anymore, is all you can really ask for them now. But still, it just wasn't hitting it for me. It's just like, okay, yeah, I think, yeah, okay, you're doing that now, Kanye. Good for you. Now, when's Andy Kaufman going to come out of that?
Honestly, how did you not think about putting naked Andy Kaufman in that lineup? That
would have been way too over the head of all of his fans, most of his fans.
I think Kanye is in general way over the head of most people who are alive.
It's probably true.
Now, let's talk about the Bieber video for a minute. He's nominated for Sorry. And as I was watching this video on YouTube and noticing, like, almost alarmed that it had 1.7 billion views, even more so the fact that he's not even in it, which is, I originally thought his fangirls would come out in force and vote for Justin Bieber, but are they going to vote for a Justin Bieber video that doesn't have Justin Bieber in it? Like when Miley Cyrus won for Wrecking Ball, and she won on a lot on popularity, even though she didn't have the most nominations that year, she was in it. I mean, she was all in it. Justin Bieber is not in it. This is a video that consists of women doing basically twerking for 4 or 5 minutes, and that's pretty much it. While the song plays and the women lip sync to his song, and it doesn't have any really thematic connection to the song. It's tonally not really doesn't really fit the song. It just seems a little bit like Justin Bieber wanted the weekend off, so he just had people shoot some stuff without him and throw it up on YouTube just to, get an easy 1.7 billion views. What did you think?
Doesn't that make you hate him all the more?
And he got nominated for it. It makes me hate him thrice the more. Honestly, I almost want him to win so that Kanye West can get on stage and be outraged on behalf of Beyonce. because Kanye will be right. No one will blame Kanye.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Everyone will be praising Kanye. I will nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize if he does that. Well, actually, my paperwork's already been sent over to Sweden, so it's like, but yeah, it's just such a weird video because it's like, the lyrics seem so genuine, of this message. So like with the video, I was expecting something like, Rihanna's "We Found Love in a Hopeless Place" type thing. But instead you just have these girls just, doing these generic like club dancing moves, which shows how old I am because I don't even know what they're called anymore. And it's just like, it just doesn't match. It's like whenever I see someone and the voice doesn't match the face that it's coming out of, I think of certain people like that, and it's just like, no, this isn't right. None of this is right. But I think they'll still fans will still vote for it because they're voting for the celebrity, whether or not the person's in the video is a non-factor to them, to what I think it would be.
Even though it's mostly the same competition, I do think Justin Bieber will win, but maybe pop video instead of this. We do see them spread the wealth in various categories, which seems odd. Like if they're all fan voted, you would think, a Justin Bieber fan is going to vote for it Video of the Year. It's also going to be Best Pop Video. It's also going to be wherever else it's nominated and whatever else is nominated. But we have seen things split up in interesting, unusual ways in years past. And I think that could be one of them this year. Even if it's MTV, like, sort of, stuffing some ballots for Beyonce. I think Bieber. I'm predicting Bieber for pop still, even though I'm now predicting Beyonce for Formation, which was a huge controversial video, which dealt with race and had themes of police brutality, and got lots of criticism of that from conservative white people on like talk radio and Fox News.
Also led to a great Saturday Night Live sketch.
Oh yes, and it was so emblematic of the issue. It's maybe Beyonce isn't for me, which was so one of the most insightful things SNL has done, I think.
No,
what did you think about that video?
It's a beautifully made video, and I like that it also had callbacks to other things that have impacted specific things that have specifically impacted African Americans disproportionately. There's throwbacks to Katrina in there, and all sorts of other things. It just feels like it has that combination of popularity. It was a pop culture event, and it also has importance to it because this is something that we're still talking about right now, and we're in the middle of an election year, and we got this is something that's going to keep on coming up as long as it's happening in society, not just because of the election. It just feels it feels right on almost all levels of what you would probably hope a winner of Video of the Year would encapsulate.
And then you've got Adele's Hello, which was also a huge pop cultural event, although not with the same kind of political and cultural significance that Beyonce's Formation had. I mean, this was her big comeback, with coming out with a new record after 21, basically owned the music industry for basically like an entire year and a half. And it was a great video. It was an emotional video. It's what we kind of expect from Adele, but she didn't let anybody down, even though the expectations were really high. And it's interesting, it's directed by Xavier Dolan, who is an actual, like an auteur filmmaker who has made, who's been at the Cannes Film Festival. He made Mommy, I believe, and he's this respected filmmaker. I think he'll win Best Director. And you have this very beautifully shot, emotional, romantic video co-starring Tristan Wilds, the actor who's been in The Wire and 90210. It's an absolutely beautiful video. What did you think about that one?
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful, and I love the fact that I don't know how he came to work on this, but I just love that it's directed by someone who is music videos used to lead to great directors. People like David Fincher, Mark Romanek, Jonathan Glazer, and this one we have someone who has already made his mark. And this is he's not even our age, and he's directed 6 films, and won 2 prizes at the Cannes Film Festival. Wow, doesn't that make you feel shitty about your life? I love that he would do this type of thing and made a beautiful video. I think it's a great testament to his talent, and also Adele's raw talent as an artist as well.
It's kind of remarkable. He's younger than Adele. Adele is 28 and Xavier Dolan is 27. He was born in 1989, so he's as old as Taylor Swift, and he was born the year of Taylor Swift's album.
Oh God. Oh, God. But good for him. I mean, it'll be nice for him to get something that people will actually want him to win, unlike what happened at Cannes this year. When he won the Grand Prix for It's Only the End of the World. For those who don't know about the Cannes Film Festival, at the press screening, it was roundly booed, but which is a tradition by the press if they don't like something at Cannes. And so when he won the Grand Prix, which is essentially second place, it was a very big controversy, or it was just surprising, even though that type of stuff usually happens at Cannes with something.
And we all know that the MTV Movie Award voting population are paying very close attention to what happens at the Cannes Film Festival before they vote.
4.
Moving on to, let's talk about the male and female video category. Some of their nominees are in common, some of them are not. Best female video, you've got Adele, Hello Again. But unusually, you've got a Beyonce video that's not Formation, so it's nominated for Video of the Year, but it's not the best female video. It's just, they sort of randomly throw things up like that. It's Hold Up, which is basically her FU smashing windows with a baseball bat video. And then there's Ariana Grande with Into You, Sia's Cheap Thrills, and Rihanna featuring Drake with Work. And this is one of these interesting things that I really like. Drake could win Best Female Video for Work, and Rihanna could win Best Male Video because she's a featured artist on Calvin Harris's song, This Is What You Came Here For, or This Is What You Came For. Although it's really Rihanna's song basically featuring Calvin Harris because he's barely even in the video. But female video, with this different lineup, with Adele versus Beyonce, Beyonce's now up for Hold Up and not for Formation, does that change the metrics of it? Does that give Adele a better chance? That give someone else a better chance? I'm predicting someone else because I'm trying to visualize the tween mind as well as I can, and it will lead me inevitably astray. But who do you think is going to win that one? I
think Rihanna's going to win that one. That's who I have, because I think it's a more recent song, but it's also a song that It just has has the current popularity to it. I just think that that's probably where it'll end up. That's just my random thinking, though. I wouldn't be surprised to see Beyonce or Adele win it.
I'm
I think
actually
Rihanna probably has it.
I'm actually predicting at the moment. I'm very, very prone to changing my mind on these things. I'm actually predicting Ariana Grande here as kind of a surprise. She's won VMAs before in surprise wins. I think she's that kind of who has that popular youth vote that we kind of underestimate in the juggernauts that are Adele, Beyonce, and even Rihanna to a certain extent. I think there are a lot of devoted Ariana Grande fans who might vote for her here. She has a lot of nominations, which could kind of divide her supporters' loyalty. They might vote for her for pop. They might vote for her for collaboration. But I'm predicting her here tentatively. I think this is Adele's better chance than Video of the Year. I really do think it's probably going to be between those. I was going to say those two or those three, but I think four. I think the only one who I think is completely out of it, which is sad because I love her, is Sia. I don't see Sia winning this one. What about you?
Yeah, I think so too. I just think that, you know, when you're ranking them, she just happens to come in last, unfortunately.
Now, for Best Male Video, you've got a couple of familiar videos. Hotline Bling from Drake and Famous by Kanye West, who are both up for Video of the Year, are also up for Male Video. And then there's Don't by Bryson Tiller. This Is What You Came For, Calvin Harris featuring Rihanna. And Can't Feel My Face by The Weeknd. And maybe it's a factor of it being so long ago. You know, in pop culture, you know, half-life of it is so old. Can't Feel My Face. I'm very surprised it didn't do better in these nominations. What about you?
I'm kind of surprised, but it just feels like all the other nominees just feel like, you know, they're more like, you know, they just have more broad support and they're just bigger acts now because of course it doesn't feel like they're going for the video, and that's what makes it harder for a new person to break through here. It's they're just going for, you know, what's really popular and what's established.
So I'm currently giving the edge to Drake because he doesn't have to battle Bieber or Beyonce or Adele in this category. You know, so I think that gives him a slight leg up. I do think since The Weeknd doesn't have that many nominations, I think it's just this and maybe one or two others. His fans who want to vote for him are voting for him here. So I think he's a dark horse to watch for in this category. What do you think?
He could be. I do think that Drake has this one. This is one because I'm surprised that Bieber is nominated here. I thought that, you know, he's in Video of the Year for sure. He'd be nominated in this one. I do. Just to bring up what you were saying earlier about how Drake could win VMA for female video. Gwen Stefani has a VMA for Best Male Video for the Southside video she did with Moby in 2001. And these categories in particular, male and female video, can produce some weird winners, like Moby out of nowhere winning the Best Male Video for Southside, or what was one of the other ones I was just thinking of? Taylor Swift winning the Best Female Video for You Belong With Me over Beyonce. So I definitely think that you know, you never know what's going to happen in these two categories in particular, but I think Drake pretty much has this.
I have a feeling that when MTV selects their nominees, they're thinking strategically. They have they have kind of an idea of the popularity of their nominees before they go in, of the people who who might garner a lot of votes, of people who might not. And so like after Lady Gaga won Everything Under the Sun, the year of Bad Romance, the next year, the year after, when she had Born This Way, and she was still pretty much at that same peak of popularity, they didn't nominate her as much. I think it's because MTV didn't want another show where it was just the Lady Gaga show. So they limited the number of awards she could win. And I wonder if they did that with Bieber, like worrying that, you know, the Believers would create this avalanche in their awards and create a really boring show where Bieber wins everything, even though you've got Beyonce's, Lemonade album producing all these great videos that don't win anything because of Bieber, and Adele had this great video and it doesn't win anything because of Bieber. So I think maybe they might have strategically limited Justin Bieber's nominations for that reason. Maybe, I mean, it's just a theory. But
that's not a bad theory.
Which makes me worried about Video of the Year, because if they're that confident, if I'm right, and they didn't want Justin Bieber to steamroll the competition with his Beliebers, like the rest of the night might be Beyonce, Adele, Drake, and then the last award of the night, Bieber, and it'll be like, oh, to the entire viewing public. It will be. We talked a little bit about this before we started recording. It would be a little bit like the Lady Marmalade year when that video beat out Weapon of Choice by Fatboy Slim with Christopher Walken, which was such an amazing video. It's still remembered today. I don't know many people who even remember the Lady Marmalade song, the cover of it, let alone the video. And so I'm a little bit worried that we're going to get a moment like that from Bieber at the end of the night.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you just cut out there. That's all. But don't people remember the Lady Marmalade video, because it's just very generic. It's just them singing it. And we were talking about this, and we'll probably talk a bit more about it later, is that it wasn't just Weapon of Choice, even though that was the best of the bunch, no matter what anyone says. The competition was also huge. Most of that competition was actually very decent. You had Stand by Eminem, which is like one of the most haunting music videos I have ever watched. A Beautiful Day by U2, Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott. You had great videos, and they went with Lady Marmalade, which made no sense.
Yeah, I want to kind of go over quickly some of these other categories that we've got and find out who we're both predicting, and go through these facts. So I want to get to the professional categories, which seem kind of boring, but for an awards wonk like me, those are the most fascinating to me, because they're decided by this panel of experts, this mysterious panel of experts, and the winners are decided by a panel of experts. It's not quote unquote experts. I don't know who they are. They might be MTV interns. Picking names out of a hat, which I think they might be in some of these categories. But yeah, those will be interesting. So, but first, let's talk about best hip hop, best collaboration. They have Freedom by Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar, Work From Home featuring Fifth Harmony and Fifth Harmony featuring Ty Dolla $ign, Let Me Love You by Ariana Grande and Lil Wayne, This Is What You Came For with Calvin Harris and Rihanna, and Work. Rihanna featuring Drake. Now, this is the category where I'm predicting Rihanna and Drake for Work. What do you think?
I think that's very probable. I can possibly see Beyonce winning this, but I think it comes down to one of those two.
This is another one where, although the potential for Rihanna here, she could split her own vote. She's nominated twice in this category. And this is another one. Fifth Harmony. I remember they pulled off an Artist to Watch upset a couple of years ago. I wouldn't rule them out, even though that song is so silly. It like basically sensualizes the idea of basically what I do is working from home, and it's like, oh, that's so sexy, and it's like, let's do paperwork. That's almost, I want that to be their next video is doing paperwork. Actually, if Beyonce did the song called Paperwork, that would, I bet she'd make that work. I'm not sure about Fifth Harmony, but so I'm a little wary of Fifth Harmony. Again, I mentioned Ariana Grande, how much I think she might have kind of hit reserves of support that we sometimes underestimate. I'm somehow less, I feel like if Rihanna wins, it will be with Drake with Work. I don't think This Is What You Came For would be the one that comes out on top, since Work has the combined star power of Rihanna and Drake. So that's where I'm going. So it looks like we're both on the Work bandwagon. We do think Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar do have a shot. Now there's a hip hop video, which is again Drake, Hotline Bling, Designer, Panda, Bryson Tiller's Don't, Chance the Rapper featuring Saba for Angels, and 2 Chainz for Watch Out. And me tripping over the names of rappers is an indicator of my age, by the way. this category feels
it's an indicator of several things for me, but age is definitely one of them.
This category feels just like Drake for me. Is there anyone really who you think is even a factor here? They didn't even nominate Kanye here.
I can't think of I don't see it, but you know, just watch. You know, is someone who's not even associated with that type of thing will probably win it. You know, Bieber might win it in a surprise write-in or something like that. I don't know.
I am a little bit wary of Bryson Tiller. He's nominated a lot, including Best New Artist. I'm wondering if there is, and he's a new artist, so I'm not plugged into fandom where he's concerned. These nominations were the first he came onto my radar, so that's something I'm a little bit wary of. He could come in there and pull off a Fetty Wap. Fetty Wap came in last year, fresh off of a big hit, and won Artist to Watch, not Hip Hop Video. He might have won both. I can't remember actually, but yeah, I think this is pretty much Drake's to lose. And then you've got Pop Video, which is kind of a weird, kind of just a rematch of Best Video of the Year. You've got Adele's Hello, Beyonce's Formation, and Justin Bieber's Sorry Again. And they're up against Alessia Cara for Wild Things, and again, Ariana Grande for Into You. So in many ways, a rematch of female video too. These are all so confusing to me because I feel like a different one has a potential to win, even though a lot of the competitors are the same. I'm, for the moment, predicting Bieber. How about you?
Yeah, I would predict him here. It seems like this is, you know, a good category for him to win.
Do you have can Beyonce or Adele take him out here, or is this basically? I'm surprised Beyonce's nominated for Pop for Formation, although I guess they don't have like an R&B category anymore. They don't
have R&B anymore. These categories have had more work done on them than most celebrities in Hollywood. It's actually kind of ridiculous. It's definitely. I think Bieber has it here because Bieber is pop music.
I would agree with you there.
Pop music.
Now, the next category is interesting. This is a category, they might discontinue this one too, because these nominees, these videos are nominated for nothing else. Best Rock Video, All Time Low for Missing You, Coldplay for Adventure of a Lifetime, Fall Out Boy featuring Demi Lovato for Irresistible, 21 Pilots for Heathens, and Panic at the Disco for Victorious. Panic at the Disco did win Video of the Year a few years ago. But I think this is
10 years ago.
Wow, that's like veteran status for this category. Although Fall Out Boy have been and Coldplay have been around for quite a while. But it seems rock isn't what it used to be. I'm a little surprised, given how much they nominated him in the professional categories, that they didn't put David Bowie anywhere in here. And both of the videos he's nominated for in the professional categories, I think they would have deserved more nominations. But for me, I think rock video is going to be Fall Out Boy and Demi Lovato. I believe Fall Out Boy has won this category before, maybe even last year, if I'm remembering correctly. And you add in the youth appeal of Demi Lovato. Maybe Coldplay could upset, but they skew older. They've won before, but they skew older. I'm going with Fall Out Boy featuring Demi Lovato. How about you?
Same. Yeah, it's. I know this is actually turning out to be pretty boring since it sounds like we're going with the same things, but I think that I mean your reasoning is absolutely right, and so that's why I'm going with them.
And the interesting thing is that whenever I do a slugfest where everyone seems to bring, oh yeah, this is what's happening. Oh yeah, this is what's happening. Those are the ones we get wrong.
Jethro Tull.
Oh, didn't they win metal performance or something the first year of that award?
They won the first Grammy for metal. They beat Metallica.
But then Metallica won several more after that. I feel like there's sort of a Grammy guilt that comes into play. Like when they screw it up the first time, they make sure to like the person they screwed it up against, they will make it up to for in excess, like crazy amounts of wins. They did that with Kendrick Lamar this year. After he lost to Macklemore in every rap category, they gave him every rap category he could have won. Song, performance, album, rap sung even. So he will probably be winning rap Grammys until he dies. Which, I mean, given the way his career is going, the quality of it, it would be fitting.
Yes.
Now, on a completely different note, Best Electronic Video, and this is the category with the nominees. Nominees I am the least familiar with. You have How Deep Is Your Love by Calvin Harris again, but this time with Disciples. The Girl Is Mine by 99 Souls, featuring Destiny's Child and Brandy. I Took a Pill in Ibiza by Mike Posner. Summer Thing, Afrojack, and Don't Let Me Down by the Chainsmokers, featuring Daya. I have heard before these VMAs of maybe 3 of those acts, and I don't think I get credit for Destiny's Child and Brandy, because, yeah. But I'm going with Calvin Harris, because Calvin Harris. Like, he's nominated elsewhere of all the kind of club, dance, music people, and he, you know, dated Taylor Swift, so there's also that connection. Although maybe Taylor Swift's fans aren't so happy with him after he dated Taylor Swift, so maybe there's backlash. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, he's dated Taylor Swift, but honestly, who hasn't? You know, I dated Taylor Swift, you know? I mean, albeit I was in it for the Grammys, but, you know, it was a wondrous 2-day affair.
And you did win like 6 for that, right?
Yeah. No, I feel very honored about that. I have been the basis of that. You know, it's basically the gay equivalent of, you know, whenever, you know, you're able to say, yeah, I'm hitting that.
you are confessing now that We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together is about you.
Oh God, yes, yeah.
And John Mayer. It was a weird thing.
But it was awesome.
It was beautiful. Yours was a beautiful
Everything
love.
They say about him, it's true. Believe me.
I will take your word for it. He has very, very long hair sometimes.
Sometimes.
Then you've got Breakthrough Long Form Video, which I'm worried about.
This is going to be discontinued.
It feels like this was invented as the Beyonce Award, and because it was invented as the Beyonce Award, it's going to go to Bieber or something like that. I am so worried about that. I think Breakthrough Long Form Video, let me just say the nominees. It's The Odyssey by Florence and the Machine, also known as Not Lemonade, Lemonade by Beyonce, Purpose the Movement by Justin Bieber, also known as Not Lemonade, Royalty by Chris Brown, also known as Not Lemonade, and Blue Neighborhood Trilogy by Troye Sivan, also known as Not Lemonade. I feel like even if MTV gets the ballots in and they're Bieber, I feel like they're going to throw that out. We're going to have a Florida hanging chads issue, because they are not going to let this not go to Beyonce. This category was invented for formation. It's the first year it's ever existed.
I cannot wait to read Ruth Bader Ginsburg's decision about Beyonce v. Bieber.
I think
this has to go to Beyonce.
I do think Ruth Bader Ginsburg is probably likelier to be a Beyonce fan than a Bieber fan. I just get that feeling about Notorious RBG.
Absolutely. But I think that, this has to go to Beyonce. And if it doesn't, it's like, what was the point to begin with?
Yeah,
it's like how the Grammys had, well, they renamed the categories, but it used to be Best Music Video short form and then long form, which of course were like for documentaries and concert movies. And so now they just have it as Best Music Video and Best Music Film, I believe, or documentary or something like that. So, again, if it doesn't go to Beyonce, what was the point?
Yeah, I don't mind, the Russians coming in and hacking with the voting systems if it means Beyonce winning here, just because it's the only justifiable winner in that category. It really is. Now, moving on to Best New Artist, you've got Bryson Tiller, who we've mentioned in previous categories, nominated several times, Designer, Zara Larsson, Lucas Graham, and DNCE. Now, for me, I'm predicting DNCE. They have no other nominations at the VMAs, but they've got Joe Jonas. They've got a Jonas. I'm thinking, trying to put on my tween brain, they're going to win. Am I on the right track, or is it going to be someone else?
I would You know, I was originally thinking that Bryce Tiller was going to win, but that is a good reason. And it just shows you what I know. I keep forgetting that Joe Jonas is in DNCE. So, oh God, I'm going to have to revisit that. But, I mean, just on his face, yeah, Bryce Tiller seems like the obvious choice. But who knows?
Yeah, this is the category where I'm to be honest, the least qualified to judge. I have not caught up on most of these. I have heard and seen the video for "Cake by the Ocean" by DNCE, which has cake and which has ocean. Who can't?
I like one of those things, but yeah, the only reason I know that I know this. No, the only reason I know the song is because I saw it. Well, it was playing at a bar I was at. That's the only reason I know the song.
Yeah, and the song seems to have been. It's one of those songs that's so ubiquitous that I feel like I had heard it before I knew what it was. Like, so by the time I heard, like, oh, what's this "Cake by the Ocean" song by DNC, and I go to listen to it, it's like, oh, I've heard this 12 times this week, and I didn't realize. Like that happens all the time now with pop music, where I mean, there's so much licensing and for ads and for campaigns and things like that, that I end up hearing a pop song 10 times before I realize that it's actually a new song that just came out. I always think these are like, oh, that must be pulled from something 10 years ago that I hadn't heard of. But no, they're all new. It's always new. It's the Moby factor. Moby did create this sort of landscape of perpetual licensing, which is smart to a degree. It does get new bands and new artists' music into the public consciousness. I mean, it's done it with me subconsciously. I knew "Cake by the Ocean" subliminally, intuitively, before I was even that familiar with the NCE.